Hey y'all, this is AL Figma Dom and Cinnamon Sugar, and I just got out of a meeting. Hopefully, I ain't got to go to another meeting until next year, but I'm pretty sure that within the next 3 to 4 months, they're probably gonna try it again, but whatever. It was a waste of time as usual, but it's mandatory, so I was up in there. I stayed awake, I yawned the entire time. I was very bored, and it is very repetitive, and I'm like, what was the reason? But anyway, y'all ain't here for that. Let me go ahead and get started with all the foolishness that has been going on today. So today I actually had a good day, despite the fact that my shoulder is killing me. My shoulder is killing me, and I am in excruciating pain. My job has trapped me yet again. I am drafted to work on my days off this week, and I'm like, y'all really trying it. Another added stressor, I guess you could say, is that I found out from the horse's mouth, directly from the horse's mouth, that somebody in particular will no longer be working there anymore at my job. So it's disheartening and it's sad because I've never had any issues with this person, and I'm gonna get to the specifics. So y'all, let me go ahead and tell y'all some more of what's going on. So I can't wait to get up, from near here. I just left the premises, but I'm just like, ugh. It's about to rain. I'm trying to beat the rain. The rain about to come down in about 30 minutes to an hour, if it can hold off. And I'm like, y'all just, I'm glad it feels good outside. But despite that, I'm just like, child, I don't want to be in there a second longer than I have to be. Let me work my shift and go home. I am tired. But like I said earlier, my partner and I had an amazing day today. We had a lot of ripping and running that we had to do yesterday, but today both of us, we had to personally fight certain things in our department, and it was on my side. That was the crazy part. He kept coming down there doing stuff for me because he wanted to figure out why this issue was happening without trying to have to call on maintenance, which is fine. But for me, I don't play that. I'm not finna sit up here and babysit stuff. If it don't work, if the things I know that I can do don't work, then I'm gonna call maintenance, because we literally had to just babysit stuff all day, and I was like, nah, I ain't here for this. But he wanted to just keep trying to figure it out, and I'm like, my head hurt, and I ain't got time for it. So outside of that, we had a great day. They are doing the most. I already told y'all, for those of y'all who, pretty much watch everything that I put up, the new department is operational, right? But they have added more days, because at first they were just trying to do Monday through Friday, and now they're starting to expand. And I'm just like, y'all didn't need to do that, because y'all still ain't got it down packed now. But who am I? The issue with that is that they want to sit up here. What the? Who is that? Oh, I know she ain't talking to me, ma'am. I don't know you. What's going on? What? Sir. Anyway, what's wrong with these people? I understand. I'm tired. Tired in my spirit. These are some people in the new department talking to one another, because I'm like, who is this? What is going on? So anyway, my bad, y'all. Excuse me for the interruption. So we trying to figure out, what's going on with that issue that was going on with that. Okay, cool. So then, because that particular department is operational now, and for longer lengths of time, they sit up here drafting people to go over there and work, which inconveniences us. This is the problem, and this is the inconvenience that I'm talking about. Let me explain what the inconvenience is. When they draft us, which is always my shift, they take people from our shift and put them in classes to train or put them in that department, and that department ain't doing nothing, and they're paying them to do nothing most of the time. I mean, it's supposed to be operational, but they've been having so many issues. Like today, I think this was the first week or the beginning of the first week that they were gonna roll it out and have it where it's a full-on week outside of just 4 or 5 days, where they're trying to do 7 days or whatever. 5 to 7 days versus 3 or 4 days, sometimes 5. But anyway, most of the time they're not doing any work anyway, and they're getting paid decent money to do nothing. And it's not very fast. It's not fast paced like it is in the areas that I normally work in, right? So a lot of people think it's cake, it's a cake job, which is fine, and it is, because as of right now, ain't nothing going on. And from what they have been led to believe, that's the way it's going to be all the time. This is my issue, and this is the issue. This is the main issue. You want to sit up here and pull people who they have regular shifts. They have regular days that they work. You're pulling them from a shift that is in need of people. And we are short-staffed all the time. Very rarely are there moments where everybody there and they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they're, present or whatever. Because some people do what they want to do, and they're getting over talking about, oh, I need to be on FMLA, and ain't nothing wrong with them, and they've been conning people. We ain't even gonna get into that, but I'm just saying. But when people who actually have things going on and they actually do need to be on it, they don't get approved for it. But I'm not gonna go into that right there. But there are people who have been drafted, and it's screwing people like me. I come in and I do my job, and I come in on the days that I'm supposed to come in, my normal days of work. Well, this week they done drafted me. They already got it up there, talking about I gotta come in on Wednesday, I gotta come in on Thursday. Those are my days off. And as I've already explained to y'all before, in actuality, really Wednesdays, when I do get that day off, is my only full day off. Now, last week I told y'all about how I went walking with the married man who has gotten the divorce, right? And through me going out with him that day to go walking, I found out about the place that I wanted to go, but I thought it was somewhere else that I needed to get an oil change done. I try to wait until it's really, really, really close to that time before I go, which would have been right on the money. Right now, this would have been it. Right on the money. My odometer says exactly what it needs to say, and I would have been right on the money for it right now. So they're screwing me over, but luckily I went on ahead and got it done right after we had met up that day. And it didn't take that long, but that was still time that I took away from my own little personal time on my last day of work, which, had I known about it, I would have set it up and did it on that Wednesday. Anyway, y'all, I'm just like, I have things that I do. Like, even if I'm not doing something that has something to do with just something for myself, I actually, even though I'm in Virginia and my mama is in Alabama, I legit do stuff for my mama from here. So it's like, you're interrupting my peace. I don't care if I'm at the house watching paint dry. I want my off days, and I want to be able to do what I want to do on my off days. So please stop. I'm going to just need for y'all to stop. So it's just so stupid to me, because it's like, why would you do that? Y'all, I'm at the car wash. Hold on. Okay. Anyway, so, but then y'all wanna act crazy when we looking at y'all like, okay, we tired. People get sick and tired of y'all to the point of where they're like, okay, well, since y'all don't want to give me my days off, and y'all want to keep assigning me to come in and working the mule out of me, I'm gonna call out. I don't care if I get an occurrence for that. People will rack up occurrences and leave you in the same state that you were in before you tried it. but y'all think that this is productive. And I'm just trying to understand why they think working a mule out of us and we're not being compensated for it. Y'all, I have worked at a place before when everything was, on the rocks with myself and my ex. I took it upon myself to pick up a part-time job. And with that job, I had to do a lot of stuff. There were things that I did at that job that was very fun to me. And I had people who I got a chance to work with and meet and learn and all of that. But we got incentives. We actually got incentives. It made you want to, work and do the stuff they wanted you to do, push out whatever it was that you had to do for that company, because there were incentives involved. Don't just sit up here and work the mule out of me and be like, all right, we need bodies. So that's literally what the words were that were said to me today, was that, I'm sorry, we need bodies. So that's why you're assigned to work. I get all of that. But at this point, what y'all need to start doing is what has happened at previous jobs that I've been at. They ain't sit up there and be like, oh, well, you got to do this. If you don't have enough bodies, deal with what you have and do what you can do with what you have. Don't sit up there and force people to miss out on time with their families and friends and having a life because you want to do this for this company. I would understand if this was my personal business. I would understand if this was my black-owned business that I was working for and I was providing a living for myself and being a part of. So I would have to do what I had to do because that's a 24-hour type of a job. More than likely, if you're doing it the way you're supposed to do it. And, especially if it's like first starting out, I would get that because I got to put in the work and do what I got to do until I can get to a point where I might be able to like hire employees or whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying. But don't just sit up here and work the mule out of me and then expect me to be excited and happy-go-lucky and come up in there dancing and with a smile on my face, and everybody knows me. Anybody who really know me, they know I love to laugh, they know I love to smile, you know what I'm saying? And they will see the look on my face where I look like I'm tired of my spirit, and it's like I shouldn't feel like that. There are times during the regular work week where I feel like I'm tired of my spirit. So why you think I want to come in on days that aren't my actual work days and be tired of my spirit and have to deal with foolishness? Like, I already got to deal with the side heifer because she ain't got no life. And it's like, we deal with way too much as it is, but you think that I want to come in and add to the unnecessary drama that be popping off. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm all right. I'll pass. And then they be trying to be like, well, it's extra money. I understand that I get a couple of extra dollars because I am here. But let me volunteer. Let me volunteer. If I don't want to volunteer, that means I got something else to do or I don't want no parts of it. I don't understand why y'all don't understand that. Because that's exactly what it is. And you ain't doing it but working me into the ground. I don't like that because I had to get to a point before I worked this job where I was working somewhere else where I was making the least amount of money I'd ever made. Like, that you could possibly make at that time. I was making minimum wage at that particular place and I was doing the absolute most. And I had to volunteer to work on my days off and all this other stuff so that I could actually provide and have money to go half on these bills with my ex, because that was the ignorant situation that we were in. I mean, do what you want to do. If that's the way you want to live, okay, cool. But if you making way more money than me, I don't feel like it's right that I should have to go half on all of these bills, especially if you are the one who is contributing to the price, the amount that has to be put out because of what you're doing. Now see, when you wreck out, you're gonna be looking crazy when you balled up somewhere. Anyway, but yeah. Oh, I got to get away from you. Y'all just ooh, child. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, they want to work the mule out of somebody and then be like, dang, they called out. They don't nobody show up. They didn't show up. No, don't try to make it seem like we're an inconvenience to you when y'all have been being an inconvenience to us, because that's literally what it is. If I didn't sign up and say, hey, I want to work, then don't be sitting up here trying to get an attitude and get mad if I submit paperwork, which is what I did today, y'all. The way it works at my job is if you get assigned to work, you have to work 6 consecutive days, the entirety of your shift, or whatever, basically at least those 8 hours or whatever it is, depending on where you work, because depending on the department that you work in and the capacity in which you work, you might work an 8-hour shift, you might do a 10-hour shift, you might do a 12-hour shift. It just depends, because some people, that's what their normal times are. Like for me, 8 hours. If I do 8 hours each day for 6 days straight, because I got hit, as they like to call it, on my first off day, I can submit paperwork and say, I do not wish to work on my 7th day. And they will look in the system and see that I abided by everything. I did everything I was supposed to do. I actually did work all that time. And 99% of the time it gets approved. And I'm like, how dare y'all even have a spot on there talking about, oh, well, somebody approved it, somebody didn't approve it. Because some people have actually been denied. I've submitted this paperwork a handful of times, and every time I've gotten approved. The day that I put in for it, if everybody else actually shows up, they will be short one person, basically, which is a breaker. And you got me coming in to be a breaker? Nah, I ain't got time for it. They better y'all need to just let them struggle the way that we have to struggle any other time. Because there are people who call out the last minute, that be lollygagging and don't want to do it, and they just really on payroll for no reason. And y'all over here celebrating service anniversaries, and these people don't do nothing except cause the stupidity that y'all want to bring to us in the meetings about all these woes that y'all have because y'all losing money. But you need the people you need to point out, you ain't pointing them out. That's my issue. Anyway, but yeah, y'all, they trying it, and I'm sick and tired of it. And they always want to try. They acting like they're rolling out something, that are testing something out, where they're going to limit and eliminate basically the overtime, and they're doing it with the people who are in the position that the married man who's getting divorced or who has gotten divorced works in. And I'm like, y'all needed to try that with us first, because we the ones, us and the other people who work below us, we're the ones y'all should have tested that out with, because y'all be working a mule out of us. Like this one woman who does the job that I keep telling y'all about, that they work and they do the absolute most, but they get paid the least. This woman makes a point to work 6 days, because she already know they're gonna assign her on her days off. She works them, and then she submits paperwork every week, because she already know in order to have a day off. She is a new grandmother, and all of it. Like, she can't even spend time with her grandchild. She can't even say, you know what, I just want to sit down in the house and do nothing. I want to watch TV today. I might want to run to the beach today. So when I get out work, my bag gonna be packed, and I'm gonna do this. Can't do nothing because y'all want to sit up here and think people need to be worked into the ground. Like, I don't understand why they don't get that. And then y'all steadily hiring people. You just hired 60-some people. They initially were supposed to hire 60-some people anyway, so that the incoming people can go wherever they're going to go, and the other people who were already in-house can start getting familiar with that new department, because they're going to need a whole crew for that too, or whatever, which is understandable. But for some reason, common sense ain't common to everybody. Now, y'all help me to understand this. Have y'all ever heard of somebody doing something brand new that they never done before at a job, and just saying, all right, so you just gonna come over the line onto my car? Man, get away from here. I don't understand why. Okay, this is the situation. I'm trying not to drag it, because y'all know I'm multitasking. Me driving and talking is a feat. By actually remembering what I want to talk to y'all about. Anyway, to make a long story short, They have the new department. It's operational to a certain extent, but not really. The people who are being paid to be over there, because that is now their department, they don't even know all the things they need to know as far as training is concerned. Yes, they've gone to the classes to train, but hands-on experience, they ain't got it. When I was at the last job that I worked at, they made a point to not allow anybody else to work over there where we were working until after we had worked out all the kinks and that the people who were over there knew what to do. After that time period was over with, that's when they started allowing people to come in and work and do all that stuff, because there would be times I didn't want to work, and then they would be like, okay, well, this person can work for you. But then when COVID hit, child, I told y'all, when COVID hit, they tried it. And it was mandatory 7 days. I literally would have to do 2 days ahead of time and straight up let them know I'm not going to be here on Saturday because I got to go and do my regular, I got to do my car. I got to do I had to take off just to get oil changes, my oil change. I had to take off in order to get my inspections done. It's like because of the time, first of all, because of the time of the day that it would be that I would get off, even though the places would still be open, it takes a while, and then there's a line. So by the time realistically they would get to me, they wouldn't have enough time to do what they need to do for me. So if I wasn't there as soon as places was open, as soon as these places were open, then I was not going to be able to do nothing. So I would have to take a day off, even though I wouldn't want to. I'm tired as it is. So y'all, I'm sorry. Basically, I'm still not getting a day off because I'm at the place doing that. And then I still got to get my life together and wash clothes and wash my hair and do all this other stuff for the rest of the day after I return home after running errands. Some days I really would run errands all day. And then the last half of the day would be me washing clothes and washing my hair and trying to clean the house and do all kinds of random stuff, like stuff you should be able to do without having to really think about it. So anyway, y'all, it's just, to me, I don't understand why they don't get that. They should have just said, you know what, we're going to give it 6 months, and the people who, this is their department, we only going to have them over there. What they are doing is they'll take the people who work on one shift, take them from the departments that are already operational, that actually are the bread and butter, because that particular department ain't gonna be bringing in nearly as much as the other ones. There are certain, the side heifers department and the most hated department, they are the ones that are the bread and butter of this company. It just is what it is. And you would think my department was, because of what it is, but the people be setting it off. So anyway, it's just a lot for y'all to ask of us. It's a lot for y'all to ask of us. And then y'all think we gonna perform miracles. Y'all think that somehow, there were times that I would have stuff set up, and then they'll be like, oh, you got hit to stay over. It's already bad enough that I don't even know if I'm gonna get my days off. Here y'all come to my mandatory for you to work a 12-hour shift today, baby. We don't care. Like this one with the woman I just told y'all about, she has had to basically trick them folks into being like, all right, I'm gonna get my day, because one day she had last week or the week before last, she had a dentist appointment. Finally got a dentist appointment, and they hit her out of nowhere last possible second before it would be too late for them to post it, which is 2 hours before the shift ends, saying she got to stay over. She can't even get to her dentist appointment. Several people have had to cancel doctor's appointments and all of that because of this. It's y'all just, and it's oh well. And then they would look sideways at the people who were like, well, forget y'all, I'm going to my appointment, I don't care, I'm just gonna get an occurrence. And they oh, they inconveniencing us. No, that's not it. Y'all inconveniencing us. But they trying to make it seem like they're rolling something out that they're gonna be trying, and it's gonna basically make it so they won't be making it mandatory for you to have to come to work on your days off, and you're guaranteed to get your 2 days off, and you're not going to ever be mandatory to come in early or stay over. And they talking about they want to see how it works, and if it works, then they're going to start implementing it in other areas. And I'm like, y'all need to hurry up. Like, this is something y'all should have been doing, because we've been complaining for the longest. And y'all tried to make it seem a couple of months ago that y'all about to put a cap on it, and y'all weren't allowing the people who actually want to work over and do all of that, who want to get all this overtime. Y'all were like, oh, well, we limited in that. And I'm like, no, y'all need to let that stay. Whoever want to volunteer, if there's a spot for you to volunteer, cool, you do that. But don't sit up here and try to make it mandatory for me to come in. Y'all know I don't want no parts. I don't care. Y'all know I don't care nothing about it. Y'all know I don't care nothing about it. I want my days off. I got too much going on in my life to be sitting up in here doing nothing. Basically, like, y'all really be trying to make it seem like it's that deep, and it don't be that deep in my opinion. I don't care what they say. But anyway, yeah, y'all, they really trying it. And I'm just like, but y'all want to wonder why people leaving in droves. So the last thing I'm going to say, I think this is the last thing I'm going to say, is that I said earlier that somebody is no longer working there. It's the woman who has been getting into it with the side heifer. She's had a whole lot of occurrences, and they ended up calling her when she was at home the other day and said that, you know, if she wants to, she can get this stuff appealed, because basically the woman was working 2 jobs. She was working there and she was working at a whole nother place, both of them full-time jobs. And they were talking about, oh, you're inconveniencing us when you call out, because she would be only calling out because her job would need her. The other job would need her. And the only thing about it was that y'all were making it seem like, oh, well, you're inconveniencing us, but you really were inconveniencing her, because it was on days that she was supposed to be off. So how you gonna sit up here and say, oh, you're inconveniencing us, when these are her off days? And she's actually sacrificed and was like, dang, you know, they talking about I gotta stay over here and I gotta do this and come here early. Let me do this, you know. And she was working at the other place for years upon years before coming to this place. She'd been here like a year. Well, like right under a year, maybe 9 months. I don't know. But anyway, she was a decent worker. And she ended up texting me, and she was like, hey, it was a pleasure working with you. I will no longer be working there anymore. And I was like, what? So then she started telling me that they ended up calling her at the house, telling her she had too many occurrences and all this other stuff. She went off on them folks and cussed them out and some more. So then, you know, towards the end of the conversation, she was basically like, look, I'm going to really miss working with you. She told me to tell this guy in particular that, you know, she enjoyed working with him as well, and that she gonna miss us and F everybody else. I said, ma'am. I was like, look, I'll tell him what you said, but golly, like, she is over it. She is over it, because, I mean, the side heifer already was making it somewhat unbearable as it was. Like, she would make people's blood pressure raise, and that's not it. That is just not the way to be. But yeah, she ain't gonna be there. And so, yet again, we're inconvenienced. And then I just asked my partner, I said, have you seen the 2 guys who were training? It was a black guy and a white guy. And then the other woman, we see her all the time. And at first, the black guy was there, apparently, but in the most hated department, and which means I'm not over there, so I don't see him. The other guy, I saw him a couple of times, and I just haven't seen him at all lately. And so once he finally realized who I was talking about, because like I said, we don't see them. We've been over in our department working quite well together and not having any interferences. He was like, you know what? I ain't seen that one of them in a while. The other dude, the black guy, was sitting up there coming late, and I'm like, you ain't even halfway through your probationary period. You coming to work late. Like, coming to work late is not it at all. You can't come late. You already got a half an occurrence for that. Not showing up, just ignorant stuff. I don't know what happened to the other guy. So he was like, I don't know. So I was like, see, this is what it is. This is just too much. And they done already hit him, talking about he gotta work on his days off. You just changed his schedule, finally, after years of him putting in to get his days changed. And y'all didn't let him have a break in between like you normally do. They normally have it like if you get your days changed, you get it because you want your days to change for whatever reason. You get 2 days off at the minimum, and then you come in refreshed. Yeah, they put a sign by his name, and he had to work. What's today? Today he was assigned, because he should have been off yesterday and today, and then came in refreshed tomorrow to start his new shift, his new hours, his new days rather. No, assigned him for Sunday, assigned him for today. Now they done assigned him for next Sunday already. We don't know if they're gonna try him for Monday. And he said, if I'm debating on how I feel, because he might submit that paperwork as well to say, I don't want to work on my 7th day. And his 7th day is going to be Wednesday, because he came back when I came back, because when I told y'all he went on vacation with his family, and he ended up coming in on that Friday, because at first his schedule was Thursdays through Mondays. So yeah, y'all, a lot going on. We tired, and we are being inconvenienced left and right. Like, they pull 3 to 5 people every day. They just started it all up again. So now we're being inconvenienced. We got to stay over. We got to come in on our days off. Like, no, you ain't finna get, man, you better approve my time, because I'm rolling up tomorrow and I'm gonna ask, has it been approved? Because I don't play that. I do not play that. I have a life outside of here, and I don't care if my life consists of me watching paint dry. I'm trying to tell y'all, if I don't want to be there, I shouldn't have to be there and look in y'all face, and y'all looking in mine. And then if the quality of work ain't what y'all want it to be, then you're going to wonder why. Don't wonder why. It's because you got me in here under duress, so to speak. And I ain't here for it. But anyway, y'all, I bored y'all enough with all the foolishness that be going on in my job. I was hoping I'm going to have to come on here today and tell y'all about nothing, but the most be popping off as usual. Wasn't expecting to find out that somebody was no longer there. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.